Guys, I am an actual joke. The 4th time that I've tried to film this video. First time I spilt my cup of tea. Second time I've just rambled so much. Third time, window cleaners turned up. 4th time, I filmed it all, put it in there to film. I thought, oh, that's just a spot on my chin. No. It was a bit of my lunch. Honestly, I'm a joke. Anyway, hello, welcome back to my channel. Now, put on Instagram whether you'd like a life update vlog or not. I committed to, in 2020, that I really wanted to post a video on YouTube every single week, and the reason for that is Instagram's quite a loud and busy place, whereas what I found in recovery is not many people are talking about it on YouTube, but actually I found it really helpful listening to like longer form videos about recovery. So I was like, right, now I can reach a different group of people that do want to listen a little bit more on YouTube, so I'll start doing that. Then I moved to London and life went a little bit chaotic and my living situation didn't really enable me to do the videos. I was so ungrounded. I was like traveling back and forth from London and Devon because I've got Devon clients and London clients. All the creativity was zapped out of me. But little update, I have actually moved out of my flat in London and I'm living at my mum's for a bit until I can get back into my own apartment. For now anyway, until I work out exactly what I want to do, it actually works out better for me. Otherwise you're looking at like paying a mortgage and paying London rent is not a sustainable way to spend your money, in my opinion. And I really want to travel a bit more in 2022. Fingers crossed. So really excited to get back into like my pink and colourful flat and create a bit more content and just feel a bit more like grounded and a bit more creative. Work has just been chaotic, and don't get me wrong, I'm not moaning about it. I feel very, very grateful. But it has meant that sort of, technically a 2-man band, but sort of like mostly a 1-man band trying to run a business was really, really hard. And before Christmas, I was verging on burnout a lot. So I actually ended up losing my period again for 2 months, I think it was in the end, when business was at like its peak busyness. And I was very, very stressed. So I was living in, is it just before I moved to London? Just before I moved to London. But I was still back and forth from London quite a bit. And it actually went a bit skew-if, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a anti-vaxxer. I have had both vaccines and I'm boosted, but I did notice that my period started to go a little bit skew-if after the first vaccine. But that was also around exactly the same time that business started to get a lot busy. Yes, so there was a good sort of like 4-5 months that my periods were sort of all over the place, and then for 2 months I completely lost it, and that was when I was like, okay. You see what you've done here, Chloe? Instead of obsessing over food and exercise, you've literally healed yourself from that and shifted the focus onto like business. And I have worked with a therapist and some like spiritual healers on this, and like we sort of uncovered like that deep rooted feeling of not feeling good enough and feeling like you always have something to prove. 2021 has been the biggest learning curve ever, and I have absolutely loved the adventures and the challenges. I felt extremely ungrounded, and I'm really, really excited to sort of like go into 2022 just feeling a little bit more like, it's okay, everything's okay, everything's fine, I'm here. Told you about my period. My period's now been back regular. I sort of like really sorted that out, started having a little bit more fun and trying to like manage my life a little bit more. Sort of, it meant that I had to sort of put training on the back seat for a little bit if work was busy, and it also meant that, you know, like stress is stress, so it doesn't, you know, stress doesn't have to just come from exercise or under eating. Like if you are stressed, you could potentially lose your period. If it looks like I'm looking away from the camera, it's because I am. It's because I've got a new camera and the screen is that way. And I reprinted my journals. Have you seen that? If you haven't seen that, please see that. I have revamped my journals and they're now back on sale. Christmas was like pretty chill, to be honest. I'd say it's my first Christmas that I didn't do any exercise and I laid on the sofa and I napped quite a lot, and I never ever thought that I would get there. Do you know what I mean? It was one of those that I just like was really reflective on sort of like the past few years of just being like, wow, like this like Boxing Day 3 years ago I went and ran like 12k and starved myself, whereas like this year was just like, oh yeah, most steps I did was walking up my mum's drive on Boxing Day. And it was just like a really nice, I don't know, it just felt really wholesome that I was like, shit, like I'm so proud of myself for being in that space. I am really excited for 2022. I feel like I don't know, I've just got good vibes about it. Now I'm home, life's alright, but it was a bit hit and miss for a while. I have been in a steady state, a steady downward slope on burnout, and then Christmas just came just at the right time to catch it. But no, I'm in a good place, really good place for food, and it's not like that I'm just like a bit like, what about it? But 2022 is a bit more about like going a little bit easier on myself and sort of like de-stressing a little bit. That's all right though now, guys. I hope you had a lovely Christmas. I will get back to uploading a bit more regularly about period and food help and stuff. But yeah, like I said, I've just been a bit ungrounded, and how I would describe my life as, excuse me, a bit of a tornado. I've just been an endless to-do list. So yeah, fingers crossed that, oh look, I cut my finger. Fingers crossed that 2022, I sort of like ground myself a little bit and life isn't as frantic. Anyway, I hope you're all okay, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.